Hello, this is Indu Rawat and you're watching We Women Want. What does it feel like to be different? Different both in physical and psychological form, or called as sexual minority. There are thousands of questions linked with the very fact of being different, while the answers are still vague and uncertain. The transgender community all around the world has been dealing with these questions. This community forms as a part of the world population, be it in India, United States, Britain, China, Japan, etc. India is one of the most religiously and traditionally diverse nations in the entire world. It has a very long history of its own which reflects the customs and usages that prevailed during that time, and the interesting part is that those customs and traditions is still prevalent in this modern century. The very concept of other transgenders in India is not a new concept. They have been recognized in our ancient history as well. We are a country that celebrates diversity in culture, great religions so vibrantly that the whole country talks about our unity in diversity concept, but the ugliest side of our society is not accepting all the genders equally. Even though legally every gender is treated in a very respectful manner, when it comes to transgenders, there is still a taboo in our society. Unfortunately, we are in a society where gender plays a major role in judging people. Although the third gender name is given to the transgenders, they don't get to live with peace and harmony. In our country, there are socio-cultural groups of transgenders including hijras, jogdas, jogapas, sakhis and aradhis. They all face severe discrimination, sexual harassment in every part of this country on a daily basis. These communities are not something that came into existence in the recent centuries. If we look back in history, they have a record of almost 4,000 years. Including mythological times, there is a mention of Napunsak in our Vedic literature as well. Jain literature gives them a name of psychological sex. So, how did this concept of inequality arise in our country? It was under British rule that they passed an act called the Criminal Stripes Act in 1871, according to which they were treated as criminals, and after which the whole situation in the nation changed. Even though the law was repealed in 1949, but the discrimination continued for the transgender communities. There are many challenges faced by the transgender community on an everyday basis, like discrimination in the educational setup and the workplace. The majority of the people in this community are either illiterate or have less education, because of which they are not able to get involved much in the educated section of the society. According to a census which was conducted in 2011, the population of transgender people was 4.9 lakhs, and in which the only 46% of people literate, which is extremely less compared to the normal population, which has a literacy rate of 74%. According to the Right to Education Act, they are categorized as a disadvantaged group, which means they have 25% reservation as an economically weaker section. The reasons why they are less educated can be listed as poverty, exclusion from own family and friends, mental health issues. Since they are not given education opportunities, this further results in not finding employment, and even for those who pursue their education with full of struggles, they are not given the same respect and value in the workplace. Social exclusion and homelessness. Since the transgender communities lack education and employment opportunities, they are looked upon as a lower class by society, resulting in exclusion. Their self-esteem and self-confidence hit really hard because of this exclusion, and they end up taking undesirable jobs. They are thrown out of their own homes and not accepted by their own families, or they escape from their houses due to abusive relationships, because of which they do not have a shelter or a place they can call home. Dealing with transphobia and psychological stress. Compared to the people who identify themselves as heterosexuals, the transgender community faces a lot of harassment, discrimination, and intolerance from the society. Due to the moral, religious, and societal beliefs, few individuals turn out to be transphobic, which results in attacks, negativity, workplace harassment, etc. Because of all the above mentioned reasons, the community faces a lot of mental health related issues, and that might actually lead them to take negative decisions such as self-harming, suicidal thoughts, etc. They go through loneliness, anxiety, and insecurities because of society. The transgender group consists of hijras, jogtas, jogappas, sakhis, and aradhis, as their sub-communities, and all of these people go through a lot of challenges on an everyday basis. These problems include social exclusion, marginalization, lack of education, and workplace opportunities, workplace abuse, sexual harassment, mental issues, extreme poverty, violence, victim of hate crimes. Our country has passed Transgender Protection Act that aims at protecting their rights and they're not subjected to any kind of discrimination in healthcare, education and employment. Our responsibility as civilians is to treat them equally and give them equal respect as any other gender. In this week's episode of We Women Want, we have discussed about the issues faced by the trans feminines as we speak to a panel comprising of Neeti Shukla, an activist, a national director, and a jury member for the Miss Universe trans pageant. Neeti also works as a fashion coordinator and for the upliftment of trans people. On the show, we will also have Naz Joshi, who is India's first international trans beauty queen and is now an activist, entrepreneur, running her own beauty pageants, and motivational speaker. Mosum, a trans feminine who is a registered pharmacist but is working at Tolly Badhais to raise money because she fears that running a shop will not be feasible because society won't accept her. Also will join us on the show. Catch fresh episodes of We Women Want every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on Music. Thank you.